Hello, I'm Dominic Demansky, and this is Discovering Inspiration. On this episode, I called in the special recruits, my daughter Madeline, and together we find out how many light bulbs it takes to make a community smile. We met the family and some of the volunteers behind Larry's Lights. We learned how one man's passion, spirit, and love of Christmas can provide priceless memories, happiness, and hope for so many. Hope you enjoy the episode. This is Discovering Inspiration, episode number 25. So Rachel, where do you store all these lights?
Well, that's why all the construction materials are there. We're building 2 more sheds. So we have some in the shed in the back. We have some in the basement, some in Mom's basement, and then we're building 2 more sheds along the side.
How many bulbs do you think you have?
Last year he said we had over 800,000, but I think this year we have more.
More than a million.
Probably a million.
I'm going to say, just round it up to 3 million.
Okay, all right. How many lights do you think there are here?
Probably 800,000.
Okay, that's what somebody else said too. Mary Beth, what made you start all this?
My husband, we lived in Harrisburg, and he won 3rd place national 3 years in a row. It was called Mr. Christmas.
At your house.
Yeah.
You had millions of lights, hundreds of thousands of lights.
A lot. Most of all our stuff was animated. Some of the things that are in the yard now are still the originals from Harrisburg.
Okay.
We brought back as much as we could, and he just loved we never collected for a charity. He just loved the joy of seeing everybody's smiles and their faces, and he would stand out and wave and pass out candy canes, and he just loved Christmas. He loved all holidays.
What does it mean to you when you see a line of traffic here that want to see Larry's Lights?
It brings such joy because I know he's up in heaven watching down.
Spectacular. Thank you for sharing. We were talking to Mary Beth a little bit, and she told me about the national awards and things like that. How did you get from Harrisburg to all this that you have going on here?
Well, Mom and Dad moved next door, and we put the lights up one time when Mom and Dad came back, but the Mr. Christmas lights, which were most of the lights that we had, they are not LED. So we put half of his lights up, and the electric bill went up to $900 for 1 month.
Okay.
So we were like, no, we can't do this. And then we took a break. We did put up some lights and some of his originals, but it kind of, when he passed in 2019, then my husband said, we're putting up every light in Larry's honor.
I see you have a letter from Santa mailbox. Mm-hmm. What kind of letters are put in there, and what do those letters, what do they say, what do they mean to you guys, and what happens?
Last year we received over 109 letters from Santa. Common things are obviously toys asked for. Last year, I think it was, the toughest thing was when we sent them to the North Pole, and Santa read them and responded with personalized letters back. The common theme was, can I go back to school? And I know that nobody you think most kids don't want to go back to school, but at that time it was during COVID. So it was, I want COVID to go away. I want COVID to go back to school. I want my family to be safe. So besides toys, those were some common themes.
From what I understand, some of these ornaments right here are over 20 years old. Mm-hmm. What is the origins of this and the lights, and what do they mean?
I worked at a place called, it was like Lowe's, a place called Heckinger's.
Okay.
So I got 10% off or whatever it was years ago. And then my stepdad, I was like, oh, there's Christmas lights. So every time my dad would come down, when they were like 50% off at the end of the season, he'd come home, and that's something my mom always says. He'd walk in the door and say, honey, how much do you love me? Because every time he came home with tons of Christmas items, just like my husband does too, just like Trevor does too. But we started, and he just kept buying them, and it was only my mom my stepdad and myself. And I think that he bought them to, I was 14, and you know what 14-year-olds are like. So I think when I moved in, when my parents actually got married, so when I started working at Heckinger's, I was about 17, 18, and we started the tradition. And I think that he did it to kind of bring us closer together as a family, just being the three of us.
Okay.
And we didn't have any help, so it was just Mom would stay in and fix the lights, and Dad, which I didn't call him Dad until I was 26, but Dad would stay outside, Larry, and he would stay outside with me, and we'd put up all the lights. So these are actually all of his originals, and some of them have been rewired, but we try to, and these are all Mr. Christmas lights, which was the original contest that he won.
Do you have a favorite ornament?
Well, our favorite stopped working.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was my dad's favorite. It was my husband's favorite, and we're trying to find another original. It's a merry-go-round, but they have them for sale, but it's not the same one. So we rigged it up last year, but it just kept deflating and deflating. So I mean, he's tried everything. So it's still in the garage. We're hoping to get it back up next year if we can't find another one.
What do the neighbors think about all that is going on here?
Everyone's been extremely supportive. We have the plumbers union, like the businesses across the road that said that people can park in there and take a look at the lights. One neighbor has little kids. Honestly, everyone's been extremely supportive. No one's complained at all. So the kids love. They have two little kids over there, and they look out the window every night. Lights, lights. So they get really excited. No one's complained, so they've been extremely supportive, knock on wood.
Well, I think it's awesome. I just live nearby, so for episode 25, I'm so thrilled to come down the road and see the lights that I've passed by myself many times.
Thank you.
Wanted to come here, so
Yeah.
Thank you. This is the dog park, and what I'm understanding is that dogs are very special to this whole band and to you guys personally. Mm-hmm. What's the connection?
When Mom and Dad moved back here, we had dogs. We've had dogs my entire life with Dad, with my stepdad. And when we moved back here, we connected up with Rodney Little, and he had a therapy team where he does in a business where he trains dogs just on obedience. Mm-hmm. And Mom and Dad had a dog named Bella, and when they first got her, she was actually 4 months old, and she was in a basement I think it was 4 months. She was in a basement for 4 months, so she was afraid of the dark, and if you left her, she was scared. So and one time Mom and Dad came over to the house, and she took all the keys off of Dad's keyboard. Well, Rodney Little we connected up with him through Girl Scouts, and Rodney Little came in and trained her, and he said she'd make a phenomenal therapy dog. So she became our therapy dog, and Dad was so proud of her. And so we kind of just rolled from there, and when he passed, we said we were going to donate to Youngwood Dog Club, because he was a member of the dog club, and it was a non-profit. And when we donated to them, it was for the puppies in need. And the first year, like I said, we donated $248. The second year, we donated to over $2,000.
Wow.
Well, Rodney Little is the one who started the
So that's how
Youngwood
the dog park
Club.
came. Okay.
Yes, and he started the Youngwood Dog Club. And then this year, he made his therapy team, which Bella is a part of, my dad's dog. He made the therapy team nonprofit, so we're donating half the proceeds to the dog club so we can still help them, the puppies in need, and half to the therapy team.
What did you think the first month when you start doing this, and all of a sudden, you get your normal electric bill, it's $50 or $100, and then what happened?
Well, it wasn't 50 or 100. Ours in the winter runs about $200 to $300. And the first one came in at like $950, and that's about where it runs for 2 months or so as we run these lights. $900 to $1,000.
Now, did you have like heart palpitations when it was at night?
I was kind of prepared for it.
Okay.
I was prepared, but it's all for a good cause, and that works.
They're cheering us
People
on.
beep, they do everything.
Is there a favorite car or family that passes by, like where you're like, oh, here's this?
I don't know if there's a favorite car, but anytime about a group of families come that have like 3 to 8 or 9-year-olds,
Okay.
they're the best. They're just in amazement. They walk around, they're like the whole time, and it's, that's what makes you feel good because they light up brighter than the lights that are out in the yard.
So we had an engagement here last year.
Oh yes, they came and it was so exciting to see him get down on his knee and propose. It was so endearing.
Did you ever think that there was going to be engagements here?
No, but it just touched my heart because my husband and I had deep love for each other.
Very nice, thank you. All right. Here's what I want to know. How long does this take to set up and how many people are involved? I see a few behind us.
Yeah, there's a few behind us now. We're towards the end, but we started the week before Halloween. It takes about a month of weekends, and then I work on it when I have time during the day. On the weekends, like the first couple weeks, I don't know, we had probably 30 some people here the first week, maybe second week, 20 some, and it's kind of dwindles down as we go, but there's less to do, so that's okay.
So this guy, his name's Logan. Logan, it's 40 degrees in the Pennsylvania area today. What brings you out on a Sunday?
I was on the trail biking, trying to get some exercise in. I knew the hills from Scouts. I was wondering if they needed any help. They told me to grab some lights, and here I am.
Have you been here before?
This is the first time I've been here.
All right, well, it seems like they appreciate you. Thank you. Trevor, how tall are you, my man?
Just a little under 6 foot,
So how tall is this Bigfoot here?
about 9 foot or so.
And what brings Bigfoot to the Christmas lights?
Well, I like Bigfoots, not that I believe they're real or not
Who
real.
doesn't?
And I bought these carvings. Actually, I bought this one with Larry when I was with him. And then I've added the other one. So this is our family. It's me and my wife and my 2 kids over here. But they get into the spirit too. We have Santa Foot and Mrs. Claus Foot and a couple elves now. That's how they are during this display.
Okay, go through them again. What do we got on the left here?
That's Mrs. Claus Foot.
Mrs. Claus Foot.
And then we have a couple elves.
Okay.
And then we have Santa Foot.
I got to keep getting further away to see how big it is. I've seen this thing around. What is this blue thing here?
That is a new decoration this year. That's a narwhal.
And so of all these, my eye went to this as well. What is a narwhal?
A narwhal is an underwater creature that, most people did not know. And we teach about it, but most people did not know it. It was an aquatic animal, but looks kind of like a whale, but it has a horn coming out of its head.
So a narwhal is a real thing.
Yes, it's like an underwater unicorn, it's called.
Okay.
That's like the mythical underwater unicorn.
We've learned something on this episode. Thank you very much. I asked your mom about what this all meant to her. You seeing the lines of traffic, seeing the smiling kids, seeing your family here together, volunteers. What does it mean to you when all that happens?
It honestly just means family. I mean, family doesn't just have to be, and I think that's something my dad taught me. Family, he was not my biological father, so family doesn't just mean the person that you're related to. It's more than that. It's seeing, people that have come to help us out over the years have become like family. And sometimes it's friends and sometimes it's neighbors, but everyone just coming together.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mary Beth, have you ever stepped on a light bulb?
Oh, many. I'm also the repair lady.
Last year you were able to raise over $2,000 and you help out so many dogs. What is the connection? How does that make you feel?
Absolutely wonderful. My husband was not a dog when he was young, and we started with golden retrievers, and he just fell in love with having a dog, and it meant the world to him when our dog got certified to help other people. So it just brought him so much joy. And so I wanted to continue on with that. That's why I go to the nursing homes and the schools and the autism centers, because not only for me or for him, but the joy it brings for others. It's just remarkable. And dogs don't have a voice. You know, people contribute to all the other charities, but they don't have a voice for themselves, so we have to be their voice. We don't want to see any dog put down that doesn't have to be.
It seems as if a lot of people love Larry. What kind of man was he?
Biggest giver I ever saw. I mean, he just loved to give to people. I could never, ever say I liked anything or I had it. Whether we had the money or not, I had it. And when we moved back here, we didn't know anybody, so he started driving school buses. And he just loved the little kids, picking up the little kids, and they loved him. And he would buy them all a gift. We'd go to the dollar store and he'd pick out, it was like over $100 and some, but he wanted each kid to have something on the bus at Christmas time, and he would wear a little hat and he always had this grin on his face. I mean, when Larry smiled, his eyes sparkled. That was the first thing I fell in love with.
Sounds special. Thank you for sharing. There are walking pathways all through here. People come from all over. What is your hope with all of this?
I would think just to spread joy. I mean, you know, in today's climate, things are not wonderful. And you see, I mean, I'm a teacher, so I see kids struggling and people being segregated and people not coming together.
Right.
So I just want people to, in honor of my dad and what my dad would have wanted, regardless of what they believe or how they feel, just to come together and enjoy each other's company and enjoy the love of Christmas that my father had. Beautiful. And his love of animals too.
Right. There's nothing better than Christmas lights, Christmas season, family. You are doing a great job here.